Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Randall K. Taylor, your host, coming to you guys live once again with another video with the Christmas party. Now, this is the second out. This is the second part of the show where you call in. So this is what we're gonna do, America. We're gonna use the phone line. We're gonna use the phone. So moderators, what I need you guys to do is I need the mods to write down this number. This is the new month number. This is for the business phone. This is area code 248-513-4328. Area code 248-513-4328. So I'm just going to take a call, let that caller say what he's got to say, hang up because it's an issue with Spectrum. So I got to call them and have them help me with the on hold thing. So this is something that we will be working on. Hopefully after the show, I'll be giving them a call to try to resolve this thing with the hold. Being able to put people on a hold and pull calls in. So we'll just be taking one call at a time. So, America, Merry Christmas. I don't even know what to say because I was looking on YouTube and I don't see a lot of people posting anything today. It's just a day, like I said, today's a day everybody gets to hang out with the family and do stuff, but I said I was going to chill with the American people and talk. I'm thinking about making pancakes. I know it's like 12, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. This is not the time to eat pancakes, but I didn't eat breakfast. Everybody was still asleep. The kids were up, but my wife was asleep and my oldest daughter was asleep. So hopefully, well, my wife is up right now, but my daughter still is sleeping. So hopefully they'll wake up and we'll see what we make for breakfast, America. It's just one of those days. So if you want, feel free to whatever you want to talk about. Go ahead and call in. That's area code 248-513-4328. That's area code 248-513-4328. A lot of people are saying the same. I cannot get the 12 live to play. I'm not sure why, but the stream is good. It might be something with your internet. Same. A lot of people are just haven't woken up to eat breakfast yet, man. And I'm thinking. Listen, I'm thinking about 3 eggs sunny side up with bacon and some toast. That's what I'm thinking. 3 eggs sunny side up with some toast and pancakes. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking for breakfast today. I really want that, and maybe some hash browns, some hash, because you know I love hash. I love eating the hash browns. That's the typical American breakfast: eggs, sausage, bacon, ham, hash browns, side of pancakes with a cup of coffee. Mm, the classic. So moderators, throw the number up. It's 248-513-4328. I'm going to go ahead and put the number in here so we can get some people to call in. And whatever you guys want to talk about, that's fine. We can talk about whatever you guys want to get into, we can talk about. There's the number: 248-513-4328. That's area code 248-513-4328. If you got something to say, something you want to talk about, whatever is on your mind, this is the Christmas show. Go ahead and call in. I'm open for all topics, all subjects. Except if you're going to be calling in here about the Jews and all this other stuff, don't call here talking about that. I don't want to hear nothing about that because it's not good. It's not good. So I don't want to talk about that stuff because I know a lot of people want to say the Jews, this, that, this. I don't want to talk about that. Anything else but that. it's funny because when I tell people to call, they don't want to call. They always want to call, and like I said, there's tons of stuff we could talk about, but I guess nobody wants to call in. So I guess I'll talk about some stuff because I got a ton of stuff to talk about. Now, one of these stories, and moderators, make sure you put the number in there. Give me a second here. Let me go ahead. New number. Oh, we got a caller. Here we go. Phone system. Let's see. This is from Carolyn. Carolyn, you are on the line.
Hi, Randall.
Hi. First thing I want to know is, can you guys hear Carolyn okay? Can I need somebody in the chat to write if you can hear Carolyn okay? Give me one second.
Hello.
No, I can hear you. I just want to make sure that they can hear you, Carolyn. Just give me a second.
Okie dokie.
Let's see here. Give me a second here. Okay, so I'm not accepting any calls on the old number. You guys got to call into the new number, which is 248-513-4328. I mean, not 818. I'm sorry. I'm reading the number wrong. It's 248-513-4328. Moderators, throw that number up so people can call in. So go ahead. What do you have to say, Carolyn? Or what do you want to talk about?
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We made it.
We did.
Now check it out. We only got a couple more days until New Year's.
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
Wow. And of course, we will be live streaming. Line 1. Okay, we got another. Carolyn, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Hold on a second. No. Don't worry about it because we're getting calls in. But don't worry. So go ahead. What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind?
Well, this is what's on my mind right now. I decided because this is my year to be by myself, which is really cool because I enjoy being with me.
That's fine.
So I'm sitting here watching you, and I'm watching the chat room, and I'm having a nice glass of Simply Lemonade.
You're drinking some lemonade?
Well, excuse me, limeade.
Oh, limeade. Okay.
And then I've got this wonderful cheese ball with some meats and some crackers and some veggies and some cheese that I got from my wonderful deli here in my cute little town of Richfield, Utah.
Utah?
Yeah. And my sweet girlfriend, she made that up for me because she has this deli in town called Big Daddy's Deli.
Big Daddy's? Wow.
Big Daddy's Deli. Who's your daddy? Anyway, Sandy rocks, and she made me up this cute little, cheese and meat tray with veggies and a cheese ball. And it's really quite good, and so I'm celebrating.
Wow.
Aren't you glad I shared all that with you guys?
I'm glad. I'm glad you did because, like I said, right now, I'm sharing with the American people my Christmas. I'm sharing this with everybody because, like I said, I know a lot of people don't have, people to be around. So I said, you know what? Why don't we do something here like how we did Thanksgiving? We had a little thing go on over here, and people were able to call in and spend Thanksgiving with me over here.
I know. I was with you on Thanksgiving, Randall, and that was so cool.
I know, it was nice, and it was nice for me because I was able to hang out with the audience and talk with the audience about Thanksgiving, and I know people were doing their things, and a lot of people are alone on that day. So I said, you know what, let's do something together. So I figured I'd do the same thing on Christmas, where we all could just hang out and talk.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I want to say something to you. This is what I did this year. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. After Thanksgiving, I said I am not going to get involved in the Christmas rush. Okay. I'm not going to do any of that. So I held out until yesterday to go to the store. Can you believe this? I mean, I had it pretty well stocked at my house. So from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I totally didn't even go downtown, really. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I went yesterday, and I got a few things. But when I was leaving Walmart, there was this really nice guy, and he's a Jehovah's Witness, and he's an older gentleman in our community, and he was sitting there passing out these sheets of paper that had all the scriptures on it. He goes, "Would you like some scriptures to read?" And I go, "Thank you. Yes, I would love them." And I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. The Jehovah's, they're out there on Christmas with giving Watchtower, because I used to be out on the corners with the magazines on Christmas, handing them out to the people.
Did you enjoy doing that?
You know, let me tell you something, okay?
Okay.
Because a lot of people ask me about being a Jehovah's Witness, and let me tell you something, okay? When I was a kid, the organization, because that's what we call it the organization, and my childhood in there was phenomenal. It was great. I had tons of friends, even though we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas. Because the thing is let me tell you something, okay?
Okay.
When a child grows up and they're not used to all that, you know, because the truth is, look, it sucks for kids when they're not allowed to have birthdays, when they're not allowed to celebrate Christmas. And it's not even really the thing about celebrating the celebrating Christmas or celebrating Thanksgiving. The main thing is when you're a child growing up and you go to school and your friends tell you about all the stuff that happened for them on Christmas and all this other stuff, it does something to you. It makes you feel like you're an outcast or like you're left out. And a lot of young Jehovah Witness kids go through that, you know, because their parents weren't Jehovah's Witnesses and they got to do all of this stuff. But now their parents are Jehovah's Witnesses and they're a child that was born into this organization and they don't get to do all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? But what my mom would do, though, my mom didn't want me feeling bad and depressed. So what she would do is she would take me out, not Christmas shopping, but she would take me out like 4 days before Christmas, and she would buy me like $200 worth of toys or whatever I wanted, video games. She always made sure to get me stuff so that way I wouldn't feel like I was left out. We didn't celebrate Christmas, but there's nothing wrong with buying your kids something a couple of days before Christmas. Now, the thing about the Jehovah Witnesses and the organization, okay? This is what you got to understand. Number one, when you grow up in that environment, you have basically no outside contacts. All of your friends are within that group. Your whole family are those people, okay?
Yep.
And the thing is, one thing a lot of people don't know about the Jehovah's Witnesses is that the suicide rate is extremely high in that organization. You want to know why?
Why?
Because when a young person grows up, and you know when you're young, that's when you get exposed to, you know, drugs, sex, you want to date and all this other stuff. And a lot of people in the organization, young people, go through that, which is normal. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to date somebody. And I'm not saying that doing drugs is a good thing, but what I'm saying is when I was young and when my parents were young, they got to do all of that stuff. But they want to tell us you can't do that and all this other stuff. So what happens is in that organization, they work on your conscience. Okay? So if you do something bad, you can't live with yourself. So what you do is you go and you talk to the elders. These are the people that are in charge of each congregation, okay? These are like the leaders that control your group. And what happens is you go and you tell these people, oh, you know what? I smoked some marijuana with my friends, or I had sex. And what do? If you're baptized, what they do is depending on if you feel sorry about what you did, or if you don't feel sorry about what you did, because the thing about people in that organization is that they get so attached to their congregation, to those group of people. They don't know anybody else outside of that group. And let's say, for example, you say the wrong thing to the elders when you tell them that you were having intercourse or whatever. Well, what they do is what they call they disfellowship you. And when they disfellowship you, that means they kick you out. They kick you out of the organization. And they do this publicly in front of the congregation. So everybody knows that they're not allowed to talk to you. Okay?
Wow.
So they do that. So after you have your little meeting with the elders, they make a decision and they tell you, okay, well, you're going to be disfellowshipped. So basically you get shamed. And on meeting day, you have to be in the king. You can be there or you don't have to be there. It's up to you. But when you go there, some people go there, they make this announcement in front of everybody, whether you're there or not. And they basically tell everybody that you're not allowed to talk to this person. So you're basically an outcast. Because
you really get shunned.
Yeah, you've been shunned.
Yep.
So what happens to that person? A lot of the times, you know what these people do? Because of the shunning, these people go and they kill themselves. Teenagers and adults. I've lost 4 friends because of that shunning.
You know, Randall.
After that, I said no more. I'm not with this anymore. Because when it happened the first time, then it happened a second time to another one of my friends, and then it happened a third time to another friend, and then it happened the 4th time. I said, I'm never going to do that to nobody. Because when these people are calling you and you answer who it is, oh, I can't talk to you, bro. We can't talk to you. That causes people to commit suicide. They don't have any other outside links outside of that group of people that they grew up with. And as long as you're in line, and as long as you do everything, you're fine. That's why I tell you, when I was growing up, like a lot of people are amazed at the way that I talk. A lot of people, especially white folks, they always trip out when I talk. Because they're like, man, Randall, when you talk on the phone, you don't sound black. You sound like a white person. Because I had these people, teachers, educators that were in the Jehovah's Witness organization, and these people would get on me when I would talk like that. They would not allow me to talk that way. Randall, that's not how you say that. You say it like this. Randall, you're supposed to say it like this. All right, Randall, you're going to go up and you're going to be giving speeches today. Send Randall up and let him read the Bible to everybody. He likes to talk. Let him read. So I would be up on stage, and when they would be going through Watchtower, I would be reading all of the scriptures. Because I had a loud voice, I could read very well, and I spoke proper English. So
sorry.
Go ahead. Well,
okay, I was raised Mormon, okay, for 42 years, and then I accepted Christ, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time I did that, my girlfriend, who was Mormon, she joined the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
And she's like my sis, okay? Mm-hmm. But we were kind of separated at that time, and I didn't realize that she went to the Witnesses, and she's totally a witness all the way. And I've studied with them before, but I got to tell you something. Because, like, when I was in the Mormon religion, I realized it was a cult. I live in a small town, population 7,600, okay?
Okay.
And I was very, very active in the Mormon church. And I realized that I was following people more than I was following God. And that's something that got me really messed up, because I want to follow, God. I don't want to chase around people and worry so much about what people think of me, okay?
No.
So anyway, I studied with them because they got a lot. You guys, they've got a lot of knowledge of the Bible, which is really good, right?
Yeah. The thing about the Jehovah's Witnesses is that they study the Bible. Those people study. They study. Yep. They study so much. It's not like they're not like the average person that goes to church on Sunday and that's it. These people they have meetings on Tuesdays, Thursdays, they go out preaching on Saturday, and then they have another meeting on Sunday, and then they go out and they preach every morning before the meeting. So these people are constantly studying. Study. That's why when you try to talk to these people about the Bible, they're very well versed. They know scripture. That's how come they can convince people. But like I said, just like how you said how the Mormons is a cult. The same thing with the Jehovah's Witness.
Yep.
Now, listen to the magic, okay? Listen to the magic I'm going to tell you. Did I say cult or did I say occult? Which one? Most people are going to say cult. No, the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons are a cult. In other words, when people hear a cult, they associate it. It's synonymous with the word cult. A cult. People think it's the same thing. A cult is a medical term. You can go to any credible doctor and you ask the doctor, can you tell me what the medical definition of a cult is? You know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you that a cult means hidden. Like how you have certain organs in your body. Like if you need to get to your intestines, you got to get, they're sitting behind your liver. It's a cult. It's not something you can see when you're looking.
You got to,
yeah. So they're a cult. They're hidden. There are things in there that you won't know about unless you get in the upper echelons. So the average person that's sitting there does not know that there's more stuff going on. Now, I became a ministerial servant, and I was eventually going to become an elder at some point. And I found out that things aren't what they seem.
Yep.
Because, say for example, because you know how Catholics have this thing about, kids getting molested and all this other stuff? Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses have the same thing, but this is how it works. You got to have two people that witness it so it can be valid. So let's say if someone molests you, and if you go and talk to an elder, you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to ask you, do you have a witness?
Oh, my goodness.
And if you got no witness, guess what? You're screwed. There got to be two people there. Somebody else has to be watching it. One person's word is not enough. And that's how they protect a lot of these pedophiles and all these people.
Wow. So that's kind of like the good old boys in the Mormon
It is.
Church. It's because they cover each other's backsides. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that was one reason. That's the second reason. So the first reason was because of how these kids and people commit suicide, because they get shunned. Okay? Yep. And nobody is allowed to talk to them. You cannot talk to them. So think about it. If you just got shunned and nobody can talk to you, you have everybody you've known has been in that organization. You don't associate with people at work. You don't talk to people, hey, we're going to go have some beers. Nah, I can't do that. I'll say, that's why Jehovah Witnesses, when you have one of these people that work with you, they're great workers. These people do their work. They don't get in problems. They mind their business. That's why. They don't make friends. They don't do any of that stuff.
You know what? That is really amazing because, well, I can tell you from experience, I was studying with these two ladies because, I was just totally just thirsting after the Bible, which I still am. Mm-hmm. But these two ladies came, and they were twins, and they were older than me, and one of the ladies, her daughter was starting to ask questions about the witnesses, and they basically shunned her. And I was right here in my house, and I said, but, why are you doing this? She's your daughter. Well, we're not going to talk to her because she's going away from the, whatever. And I go, well, that's not the way Jesus said. He said that, to love our people and whatever. Right. And guess what? They shunned me, and I'm still getting shunned. And I wasn't even a witness. Yeah. And whenever they see me in my camp, they look the other way.
Right. It's
kind of crazy.
I know, but that's what they do. Like me personally, what I did was I wrote a letter to the society, and I just, and I haven't had any contact with them. They haven't contacted me or nothing, but I just stay away, because you're not supposed to, listen, religion ain't supposed to work like that. The way that listen, I thank all the people that helped educate me. Yep. And keep me out of trouble. Yes. But when you see things like that going on, it's not good, because just because somebody is shunned doesn't mean that you should ignore them. You should be trying to help them get better. Yeah, they made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. But nobody should be shunned and disassociated from their friends, because that's when they need their friends the most, is when something like that happens. So I that policy about shunning people and seeing my young, like I said, I used to go to parties with these young teenagers. We would go out to parties. Like, we call them witness parties, okay? Jehovah Witness parties. Because when you turn like 16, 17, 18, you hear about kids going to clubs. And like I said, your parents used to go and do this stuff, but you grew up. Your parents became Jehovah's Witnesses, and then you were born. Now you're born into this thing. And when you go to school, you hear your friends talking about, oh, we did this, we did that, we did this, we did that. And you don't get to do this. So it's kind of like you feel like your life, like you're being controlled. You can't do anything. And so when these people go out and do this stuff, they make a mistake. They're teenagers, and teenagers are gonna make mistakes. And as far as I'm concerned, we just gotta deal with it. I don't think they should be shunned. They're young. They're gonna make mistakes. They're supposed to make mistakes. That's how they learn.
Exactly. Randall, that's quite a concept. Like, your parents, they did their thing, and then they became witnesses. So they have all of their glory days to talk about or whatever.
Yeah.
And then here you are born into it, and you can't, it's like you got this rope around you. You can't do anything.
Right.
No wonder kids get they don't know where to turn.
Exactly. And so
gosh, that is really that's scary, Randall.
I know it is. But that's what I went through. I went through that since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And there are a lot of YouTubers. Let me tell you, there's a lot of YouTubers that are Jehovah's Witnesses. There's a lot of us on here. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm telling you, we don't see things the way everybody else sees things, because we grew up, we were in an occult. We were in a cult.
I know, I was too, Randall.
And seeing this stuff happen, hearing about the suicides, hearing about the rapes, all of this stuff goes on in these organizations. And it happens, and they keep it hush. You will have, listen, I knew of a child molester who was a Jehovah's Witness, and the elders kept that a secret so nobody would know that this person was a child molester. And this guy was in the congregation, going to meetings with everybody, being around kids and all this other stuff. It's unbelievable.
And because there were not two witnesses when he was totally molested somebody, they covered his back.
Exactly. It never got out.
Darn right. That's wrong.
Yeah, I know it is. And the only reason I knew about it was because I was a ministerial servant. I was right under, the next step for me was to become an elder. And I knew this elder. He was really good friends with me, and he would tell me all of the stuff that was going on. And there's a book that they get as when they become an elder. There's a book that they get, and that book tells them what they're supposed to do, or what the policy is. It has nothing to do with the Bible. It has to do with the policy that these people, the governing body, give them. So in that book, like, say for example, if your wife sleeps on somebody, let's say your wife commits fornication, or if you decide to divorce your wife, okay, let's say you divorce her. You are not allowed to marry anybody else. You got to be by yourself for the rest of your life.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they tell you. You're not allowed to date anybody. You got to be by yourself. Then they have another policy where if your wife cheats on you, all you got to do is tell them that she cheated on you, and they will let you can date or whatever. There doesn't need to be a witness for that.
Now that doesn't make sense, Randall. I thought we were supposed to have two witnesses.
But it's for men.
Oh, it's for men.
Remember, it's for men.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So if
there's stuff like that goes on in the Mormon church.
It's like you said. It's like I said. It's like a big club, but you ain't in it. And as long as you're a guy, you can get away with a lot of stuff. Because women, let me tell you something. The majority of women in this world are not going out and raping little boys. Okay. When these teachers go and do this stuff to these young teenage boys, you think these boys are saying, "Oh no, you're raping me! No, don't touch me! Stop it!" I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying those are the facts. Because boys are not gonna be there saying that they're being raped and molested. They enjoy that. That's their fantasy. But all I'm saying is the majority of women are not doing this stuff. The policy is not written for women. The policy is written for men. That's why they hide all that stuff, because they know there's a bunch of men doing this.
Kid, I swear, you want to know what? I got set free when I left the Mormon church, and I got to see some. This is the thing that really concerns me about my girlfriend. My sis is what I call her. She's been totally accepted. And she's just totally into it. And, I mean, she can quote scriptures right and left, but she's, like, so serious. And I'm trying to get her hooked into you because I told her, you got to go listen to Randall. He was a Jehovah's Witness. And, well, what's his website? But she's dragging her feet because if she starts looking into this, she might decide it's not where she really wants to be.
Right. The thing is look, your temple... Your place of worship is you. You.
We are the temple, Randall.
Yeah, it's you. And,
I know. And you want to know what? I've been set free.
Yeah. You got to free. Like I said, look, listen. All this stuff is going on in these places. It's fine if you want to go there and worship, but you can do it at home.
You can.
You don't have to, and you can study and learn on your own. God will reveal the truth to you. He'll reveal it to you. But you got to study. You got to get these books. You got to look up these definitions. You got to do all of this stuff. You have to do this stuff yourself. Because you're inviting a Jehovah's Witness into your house to teach you about the Bible. Think about what you're saying. You're inviting somebody in your house to teach you about the Bible. So what are they going to teach you? They're going to teach you everything that benefits them, not you. They're going to tell you, and like I said, if you're married and your husband doesn't want to study and all this other stuff, they're going to start hinting to you to leave him. Like I'm telling you, because a lot of those women are single women. So they already have a bias about marriage because they may have been married before and their marriage was not good. So, like I said, they spend a lot of their times preaching. Do you want
to know what got me with my marriage to my husband? And we're divorced, but we got married, divorced twice.
Mm-hmm.
I was so busy in the Mormon church trying to be, as you call it, Molly Mormon, doing everything so perfect that I could never measure up. And my husband said, Carolyn, come on. Let's try this, let's try that. And I said, you're an apostate,
Yeah.
And, Randall, after shit hit the fan, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then I came to realize that he was trying to get us out of it, and I was so busy defending whatever it was I was defending. But he had a few problems with drugs, too. So, I mean, it wasn't just that. But, I mean, it's like my eyes are opened, and I allow my eyes to be opened all the time, and I'm so grateful for a loving God who knows I'm a mess, and I'm nothing without him, And praise the Lord for Jesus. And, I mean, come on. And I'm so proud of you, too. Look at everything you learned so you can pick up on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you another gem. Now, listen to what I'm going to tell you guys, okay? Listen to what I'm telling you. There's 297 people in the room. I'm going to tell you guys something. The whole reason why you have Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, like I said, there is no other organization that can do this. What religion do you know? If they tell everybody to put on blue pants, a white shirt, and a purple tie, I can guarantee you that in these organizations, if they told all the men to do that, the men would do it the next day. No problem. The theory that I have about the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons and all of these organizations is that these are going to be the people that they use to rein in the New World Order. After the war, after the deaths, these people are going to be the people that they're going to protect. You want to know how I know? Because the Jehovah's Witnesses are tied into the Catholic Church. I found this out. The Catholic Church has control over the Jehovah's Witness organization. When I did my research and found this out, and you can find this in their tax filings, when they file their corporate tax, they're a part of the Catholic Church.
Of the 501c, right?
Yep.
I know, Randall. Anybody that's with the 501c is part of this.
Right. So what's going to happen?
Be really careful who you hang out with.
Because what's going to happen, if whatever event happens, these people are going to be protected during that time. And if something where a mass killing happens or something like that, or we go into nuclear war, these people will be in these bunkers safe. And when everything is clear, these people are going to come out, and these people are going to be the people that are going to be indentured slaves to the New World Order. Because those Jehovah's Witnesses, they'll do what they're told. They will not question. That's why I feel sorry for your friend. Because if she listens to this show and she goes and asks those elders a question, they're going to tell her, why are you asking these questions?
Yep.
Why are you doubting? Are you doubting Jehovah?
Yep.
Well, you have to remember, Jehovah or God is not here on earth with us. There's a bunch of men running everything. That's the first thing you got to understand. Okay? Yeah. And number two, if men are running it, what does the Bible say? Don't put your faith in man.
Exactly.
So why are people putting their faith in man? You guys are supposed to be...
Because they think Jehovah's the one that got the man doing their thing.
Right, but then again, if Jehovah is guiding these men, listen to what I'm telling you. If Jehovah is guiding these men, that means that they're prophets. They should be able to tell us what's going to happen.
Wow, Randall.
Because like God was in contact with Moses.
Yep.
Moses prophesied a bunch of stuff. Moses opened up the sea. Moses did a whole bunch of stuff. So there's no change between your relationship with God and Moses. God and Moses' relationship is different than what anybody on this planet has. Nobody on this earth has what Moses and God had. Nobody. Now, if you're claiming to be a prophet, go to the ocean and split the sea for us, and I'll believe you. If you can't do that, you ain't no prophet. That's a prophet. Same as Jesus. Jesus went out and prophesied a whole bunch of stuff, and it happened. It's the Son of God. If you can't do what those people did, you're not a prophet. I don't know what you're talking about. People have visions and all this other stuff. Okay, well, did your vision happen yet? Yeah. Tell me what your vision is.
It's so simple, but people get so caught up in religion.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
it has
about religion. It's about a relationship.
Listen, it's about the, and God is going to come and he's going to see a lot of people, like I said, look, let me tell you something, okay? First of all, God is not from earth. That's the first fact. He ain't from here. He was not born here.
True.
He's from the heavens. He's from out there, which means what? He's an extraterrestrial. He's not terrestrial. Terrestrial is you, nope. Earth. Okay. He's not from here. He's from out there. So logic alone will tell you, yeah, he's an extraterrestrial. I'm not saying that he's an alien with the gray head and all this other stuff. He's not from Earth. He's from out there, space. He's out there.
Yeah.
That's common sense. Yeah. And when you read the Bible, when you read it and you go through every text in the scriptures, you're going to find stuff in the Bible that makes no sense. And your pastors and the pastors in the church never talk about this stuff. Why? Because they don't know. They don't know, but they should know. There's scriptures in the Bible where it talks about rockets and space and all this other stuff. There's a bunch. Have you guys heard of the chariots of Israel? All of that stuff really happened. People really saw this stuff. let me ask you something. If you go back to that time, to Jesus Christ's time, and these people saw a rocket, how would they describe that?
Exactly.
How would they describe seeing something like that? Or a spaceship, a chariot. But a chariot, but like I'm saying, do you see? There's a whole bunch, and there's tons of scriptures in the Bible that people can't explain, and they don't want to touch it because they're scared. Don't be scared. The Bible is a scary book. When you start seeing,
just a straight shooting book. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but like I said,
praise the Lord.
People don't read it. People, like I said, when you go to church, there's already some scriptures that they've already selected. We're going to talk about this and all of this stuff. It's not for you guys to say that that's not important. It's very important because that's going to give you guys a clue as to what the hell is going to be going on earth over the next couple of years, what you may be seeing. There's a reason why they want to unite the world. There's a reason why they want to do that. Because remember, when we were created, what was the purpose of creating us? Why did God create us? What was the purpose? There's a reason why a bunch of Americans and a bunch of people don't want to get vaccinated. There's a reason why people don't want to do that.
Tell us what.
Because the thing is, if you create a creation and you leave certain people in charge of watching the creation, because remember, the angels were jealous of us.
Oh yeah, they came down.
They were jealous, and I don't want to. And if I get into the sons of God and all this other stuff, like I said, all I can say is this: if these beings were able to come down to earth and have sex with women, their plumbing must have worked for them to bear children with these women. And if these children, now first thing, you do not know how long sons of God live for.
True.
You don't know how long these people live. You don't even know, we don't know how long they can live. For all we know, those sons of God might still be alive right now, controlling what's going on earth. Because they may want God to destroy us. Because we were the original creation. And they're trying to change your DNA and all this other stuff, make you guys merge with computers and all this other stuff.
Yep.
So what happens? Like I said, this is I don't want to get too far out there, but like I said, there's a ton of scriptures in that Bible that you guys have not, and you've read, but you didn't know what they were talking about because nobody talks about the stuff, and people skipped over it and kept reading like the Bible is a comic book. The Bible is not a comic book. The Bible is a history book.
Yep.
And it tells you the history of things and events that occurred, important things. Anything in that Bible is important. You cannot dismiss it because you don't understand. If you don't understand, guess what? You need to stay. If you need to stay on that subject for a month, you need to figure out what happened and what they're talking about, and you need to accept it, process it, and keep moving on. That way this thing will get more real so you understand what's really going on. Because what occurred in the times of old is getting ready to occur now.
Okay, but Randall, is that like the Book of Enoch? I mean, what's your perspective on that?
Listen, the book, first of all, a lot of people don't know about Enoch.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about Enoch. And now a lot of people say that the Book of Enoch is not valid. The Book of Enoch was a part of the Bible. But you guys got to remember, who put those books in the Bible that you're reading? Most people don't know. They think the Catholic Church did it. It was the Council of Nicene. They were the ones that put all of the books together in the Bible, and they were the ones that chose what books to keep out of the Bible.
The Council of what?
The Council of Nicene.
Nicene?
Yeah. The Romans did all this.
They decided.
Remember, the Romans decided.
Right?
Right. And under the Caesars of Caesars. Well, these people follow our rule and our law. That's what people don't understand. The Bible was it was on scrolls, America. It was on scrolls. It was not a book. It was a bunch of scrolls. And the Council of Nicene, they were the ones that got together and decided what you guys were going to read, what we were going to put together. The Roman Empire, just so you guys know, the Roman Empire never collapsed. The Roman Empire is still active through the Catholic Church. They just moved their power structure from one thing and put it in a church. Because the church has the power. Why do you think when we used to have these kings like King Arthur, who was the one that put those people in power? The church. They had to be ordained by God, which is the Pope. That's how these kings got their power. The kings had no power unless they subjected themselves to the church, the Roman church. How do you think the Roman church got all the money? And in Central America, why do you think they sent friars and all these people over to Central America when they discovered the New World? Why would they send the Catholic Church out there for? So they could give these people. Right now my daughter's cooking breakfast and the fire alarm went off because the bacon is smoking. So we're opening up the door right now.
Burning down the house, Randall.
Yeah, I'm literally burning the house down right now with this news. Hold on. I said we were going to talk about some stuff on Christmas. Hold on a second, America.
On Christmas, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody wants to move on. I think you should, Randall.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Have you ever thought of doing like another video, like another group with this? I mean, seriously, this is the truth. We need to know it. You know what I mean?
Listen. I can't talk about this stuff. I can't talk about it.
Why?
I can't talk about it because the Bible is a very sensitive subject. And when people have been taught a certain way and you start telling them things, like I said, here's the most confusing thing. Okay, so if you go to the book of Genesis, right? That Genesis talks about the creation. Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna set you guys. This is gonna send you guys to a different place. In the book of Genesis, it talks about Adam and Eve, right? And there's a text in Genesis, and you guys, where Adam and Eve, after they eat the fruit, they discover that they're naked, right?
Yes.
And what do they say? What do they do when they discover that they're naked? What do they do?
They hide themselves.
Right. So when you read this account, read it really good. It says that God calls out to Adam and Eve. But why is he calling out to them if he's God? He should know where they are. So is that
why, Randall?
Okay,
why?
hold on. So he calls out to them and he says, Why are you covering yourselves? How do you know that you're naked?
They were ashamed.
Why would they be ashamed?
Because they sinned.
They ate the fruit.
And the fruit opened their
But what I'm saying is, the question is, that tells you something about God. Because when he called out to them, but why would he call out to them if he knows
God can't be around sin?
In other words, God is doing other things. He wasn't just focused on what was going on earth. You think the universe allows God to just focus on one place? There's a bunch of things that he's doing. Because in the book of Enoch, it tells you Enoch goes to the place where God resides. He saw that place. But most people don't know that because the Bible was written to control people. It was not written, and when I say written, I mean when they put the books of the Bible together, the Council of Nicene, they took out all of the stuff that you guys don't need to know. But all of the books of the Bible should be put together so that way you guys can see what was going on. when you go to this other book called the Apocrypha, that was another book that was a part of the Bible that the Council of Nicene took out. But in that book, it talks about America. It talks about this land. How did they know about America in the Apocrypha?
It's in the Apocrypha.
It's in there. They knew about this stuff back when the Bible was written. So that's something that there's stuff in the Apocrypha that you got to read. But what do? They make it red, and they write the word Apocrypha, apocalypse, and it makes you think it's evil, and you don't read it, and you stay away from it. That's how you keep people deaf, dumb, and blind from the truth.
Oh my goodness, Randall.
But that's it. That's all I'm going to talk on. I'm not going to talk any more about this because, like I said, but I had to do this research on my own. But the Jehovah's Witness, what they taught me was how to research, because those people know how to research stuff. And the Mormons know how to research stuff.
Yeah, but they don't research the Bible. They research the Book of Mormon.
I know. But the thing is, research is research. When you learn when you're trying to study up on a subject, they got a library over there where they got all of this history and stuff that they research. They can find out anything about your family, where you came from, all of this stuff. The Mormons.
The genealogy.
Yeah, they know how to research. Your concern is not the Book of Mormon. Your concern is, how do I research? Teach me how to research a subject. That's what they teach you. That way, when you're on your own or when you leave, you know how to find the truth.
Okay, but what about what they do as far as, like, all the genealogy and all the temple work and everything is to keep the focus off what's really going on?
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
What is the truth about the Mormons? What do they teach? Where do we all come from, according to them? If you
come from heaven.
Okay, but you know that the Mormon religion was created by a guy.
Yes.
Right? And this guy lived a very lavish life, right?
Yeah.
And when you research this guy, what do you find out? This guy talks about aliens, and that we came from like some spirits or something like that. Have you heard anything like that about the Mormons?
Well, he was into mysticism and stuff like that. Joseph Smith was.
Okay, but if he was into mysticism and he created this religion, what do you think what was the purpose of creating the religion? What was the whole purpose of creating Mormonism or Mormons? Where did it come from? What was the epiphany of making it? To better humanity, to better life, or what was the whole concept? Why this guy decided to do this thing? And he's got people believing this.
Why did he do it? Because he was looking for a true church. I don't know. Look, I love your questions. I feel best right now, and I'm not answering it correctly.
You don't listen. The whole point is not to answer the question correctly. The whole point of the reason why I'm asking you this stuff is for you to think, because most people they just take what they're getting for nothing, and they don't question it. You got to question it. Why? What was the whole purpose of it? Because when you go back to the Jehovah's Witnesses, what you will find is the creator of the Jehovah's Witness. Go look up his grave, and what you will see is that he has the all-seeing eye on his grave, which lets you know that he was a part of Freemasonry.
Well, Joseph Smith was part of Freemasonry.
Exactly my point. So what are you really worshiping?
Satan.
So, caller, I'm going to end it there.
Okay, gotcha.
So, America, like I said, this is the Christmas show. My family made my breakfast. I got pancakes. So, we're going to we're going to end it here. We will be back at the 3:00 hour. We'll do another call-in show, and I will answer calls, people calling in. America, I hope you like this video. I hope you share it. And I hope you research the Council of Nicene and really find out what's really going on. Because like I said, the only way you're going to find the truth is if you look for it. So outside of that, remember to like and subscribe. Join my Facebook. I'll talk to you if I have time. And I will see you guys in a little bit. Peace out and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.